Want to take Excel to the next level and truly test its limit? You already know Excel is a powerful tool, but maybe you've taught yourself, I'm not expert enough to build something amazing with it. I used to think that too. For years, I believed the only way to unlock Excel's full potential was through coding in VBA or building macros. While those tricks were useful back then, the game has changed. Today's data tools are shifting to the cloud, and most of them require signups, internet access, and constant updates. But here's the good news. Excel is so much more. Fully capable of building interactive, dynamic dashboards. I've been a data analyst since 2016, and my journey started with Excel dashboards. And over the years, I've helped many clients build powerful local tools. Today, I'm going to show you how to create your own custom interactive Excel dashboard. This tutorial will cover the 3 essential pillars of dashboard design in Excel: processing your data using formulas and Power Query, building dynamic visuals with pivot tables and charts, and adding interactivity with slicers and filters to make your dashboard user-friendly. All right. Let's jump to the screen and start building your first interactive Excel dashboard, step by step. This is a sales sample dataset, and I'll show you what you can start doing here. And in this first step, this is our starting point. And here with this table, the first step that I will do is, you can see we have date, order ID, product category, customer name, and so on, sales rep, quantity, unit price, discount. And as you can see, I have a lot of data to work with right here, and I have 1,000 rows that I can use with the data. And the first step for me will be to format this all this proper. And usually Excel understands really well when we have text columns, but you can also see here we have a date, but it is only recognizing the value. And this is how Excel sees any date in the system. But here we can start fixing the format of each one, and we can go here to Home tab, and we can click here on General, and here I can select the short date, and you can see it has a better, now it's a usable date formula. Date form, and you can see also here order ID, product, sports, customer name, city, sales rep. Here on quantity, I don't really need to change anything about this, but yeah, it works with the general one. But let's say I want to make it into a number, but I just, since it's quantity, I will not be slicing any product, so I'm just gonna get rid of the decimals. And here on unit price, I can select here or right here if it's a currency. And this is indeed a currency for me. Then we have a discount. And this makes sense for us, but not for whenever we're doing data analytics. And basically, if you know how the percentages work, this 20 will be equivalent of 0.2 if we're talking about number. But in order for me to add a percentage, you can see here, this is not what we're looking for. I'm not looking for 1,000% discount. So this is definitely something that we gotta fix, and we could start doing that with a helper column, and I'm gonna call this one helper 1. And basically what I'm gonna do here is do the percentage division. So I'm gonna select the discount, and I'm gonna divide it by 100. And you can see this is the real percentage number. Right now I'm gonna copy and paste this. In this instance, I'm gonna copy as values, so I don't have this wrong. And I don't think I need this helper column anymore, so I will delete that one. And you can see here I have the discount, and now let's apply the percentage, and you can see this is working a lot better now. So this is the real discount. We have here the total revenue, so I'm gonna turn that into currency, cost, and profit. Those two are also currency format. That was our first step. So now I'm gonna show you how you can start automating all these transformations, and you can do something some things here on the tables and the regular Excel interface, so we can identify this better. I'm gonna call this sales data. Sales data here on the tab. And I'm also this is recognized for in Excel as a table 1 currently, and you can see that if you use the keys Control A, it's gonna select all the table, and you can see here this is the name of the table right now, and I don't want it to be called table 1. I'm gonna call it the same, sales data, and I'm just gonna add TB, so I can know this is the table. And that's something you can do with every table that you work with in Excel, just so it's easier for you to actually identify the table. And here you can see this is another interface that you can use with Excel, and this is a more advanced look for analysts that this definitely will come handy with any transformation that you want to handle here on Excel and you want to automate it. And this will help you with things that you cannot usually automate using regular Excel. As you can see here, I have some toggles that I enable. I can check the column quality. I can also check the column distribution and things like that. And these are things that you can toggle on and off depending on what you prefer for whenever you're doing your data analysis. So if I click here on product, you will see the amount of rows that we have, the minimum and maximum of how many categories we have here on the product. And you can see here, this will give us an overview of what's the data that you're working with. And this is designed so you can start working with thousands and thousands of entries instead of just a few. So for this one, Power Query is really good whenever you want to add some automation, and let's say something that you're gonna do regularly on a regular basis with this data. So for this one, let me show you. Power Query gives us a few ways to transform columns, but also adding columns based on the content of other columns. You will see here, if let's say for instance I want to turn date into year, I can come here and I want to add one column. I don't want to transform it, I just want to add one column, and I can select the year. You can see this generated the year that I want to work with. And now let's say I also want to know what's the day of the week, and I will go again here on date, and I can go here on date, and there are some options that I can select from. And I actually want to know the name of the day, because if I do the day of the week, it's gonna show me like 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7, but I want to know the name of the week, of the day of the week. So you can see here it automated that calculation for me, and that's something that you can also do using formulas in Excel, but not as easy as you can see we can do in here. You can find some other transformations and default transformations that you can do with your data here, and these are the most common transformations that you want to automate, or usually people automate using Excel. But if you want to take up a notch and you want to code exactly what you want from this data set, you can also go here to Advanced Editor, and you can learn some programming using Power M language. That's something you can do if you want to take up a notch and learn programming here on Power Query. And the nice thing of using Power Query is that you can learn this here on Excel, but also whenever you're ready to take your data analytics journey to another level, you can also transition this knowledge from Power Query to Power BI, and they do both share the same tool and they work the same. So if you learn this here on Excel, you'll guarantee will know your way around Power BI once you start using another tool. Let's say I already have this data ready for me to use to start creating the dashboard, and I can go here to close and load. You'll see it just run the automation. It spelled out this one, and I'm gonna change the color just so I can have a better idea of which version of the file is this. So this can act as our source data, and then if we don't want to change anything from our source data here, I can use Power Query and make transformations without touching the source data, and we don't have to mess around with the original data that we're working with. So I'm gonna name this Power Query output, and I'm gonna start every time that we want to create a dashboard here on Excel we can start using pivot tables. And here on our pivot tables, let's say I'm gonna go here to insert and pivot table, and I can add a new worksheet. Well, I'm gonna work with this, and I'm gonna insert the pivot table, and I wanna add it to a new worksheet. So for this first one, I'm gonna work with using, I wanna use the name of the day, and I can add it here on the rows, and I want to know the revenue. Here I can see the revenue for each one of the days of the week. And remember, we wanted to have this as a currency, but now that we're working with pivot tables, it usually doesn't automatically understand what type of format this data is in. So, and now that we have our data here, I also can start formatting right here all the information that I need to work with. Let's change the discount, revenue, cost, profit, and all these are a currency format. Here on the date, I just want it to be a date, nothing else. I don't want time, I just want a date. I can start my first pivot table right here using this data, and I'm going to here on new worksheet, and I'm gonna add the day name for the rows, and then I want to know the revenue of each one of them. And you can see, because I already took care of the format on the table that we're using for the pivot table, it's gonna show me exactly what I need. And this will be our first pivot table. Let me call it revenue by day name, let's call it. And now I wanna do my second pivot table, and all this is necessary for me to actually achieve automation and dynamic formulas on either on the metrics, but also it will help me a lot with when I add graphics down the line, and you'll see that in a moment. Now I want to know what's the profit, but I want to know the profit daily. So I'm gonna use the date on the rows, and you can see it automatically added the rows on a way that I can easily start adding information to each date. But now I don't really need this automatically understood that it was a date format, so it added the months and the days. I can remove one of the fields, and I actually just want the date, or differently, I can just remove the date and keep the date format like this. So I'm just gonna expand all this, and now I can start adding the profit for each one of the days. So I'm gonna drag it here to value, and you can see here I have the profit for each one of the days, and I'm gonna call this profit by date. Now let's go to the next one. Now I'm gonna insert here another pivot table on a new tab, and for this one I want to know in the category, I want to know how many things were the quantity of the sold products, and I have here books, clothing, electronics, and I have the amount that I want to know. Okay, and now I have the quantity of all the products that I sold, or the categories that I wanted to know. So I'm gonna call this quantity by product. Lastly, I want to know what's the revenue for each one of the cities. So I'm gonna insert a new pivot table. Here I'm gonna look for the field name city, and here's all the cities, and I want to know the revenue for each one of them. You can see I have all of them. But this is not something that will really help me a lot on a dashboard, because a dashboard, it's meant for you to understand the data on one view and help you have insights quickly. So for this one, I just want to know the top 10 on revenue. So I'm gonna value filter the values, and I'm gonna call it here on top 10, and I'm just gonna keep this top 10 right here. And also I can sort the results, and let's say I just want them on ascending order based on the sum of the total revenue. So I'm gonna click OK, and now I have all these in order depending on how much revenue they had on the results. And I'm gonna call this tab revenue. Okay, and now I think we're ready. We have already our 4 pivot tables that we're gonna use to start creating our dashboards. And I'm gonna add here one more tab, name dashboard. So I'm gonna start from here, and I'm gonna insert our first chart. I usually like to go here on recommended charts so I can look at all of the options available. And for this one, I believe a column visualization is the best one. You can see here we have Sunday through Monday, and I can see all the revenue depending on the day. And I'm gonna hit the keys Ctrl X to cut, and then I'm gonna go here to dashboard and paste. When I do that, Excel will keep all the links to the data here on the pivot table. It was used to create the visualization. I can go here again and make sure you have something selected in the pivot table, and you can go here to insert. And for this one, I believe since it's a lot of dates, I actually want to know, I need a visualization that will allow me to see all the results on each date. So for this one, I believe a line chart will be the best. So I'm gonna add it, and you can see here, since it is already formatted as a date, you can see that Excel automatically understands that this is the timeline that I want to use for the visualization. I'm gonna cut again and paste on the dashboard. Now I'm going here to quantity by product, and for this one I want to insert a chart, and I want to know what's the proportion of each one of the sales. So for this one, the pie chart will actually be the best option for me, and I'm gonna cut and paste the dashboard right here. And revenue by city again, I'll go here and I'll use recommended charts, and I believe a bar chart will be the best to show the top 10 cities by revenue. So I'm gonna select that one, hit OK, and you can see I have the top 10 cities right here using a bar chart. And I'm gonna cut and paste again. Okay, now that we have all our charts in this table, you can see I can show you how we can start changing the layout so it fits better on the dashboard, and it will also be easier to understand and go through. Okay, and I'm gonna start the layout, and I believe the best fit will be from here. And I also want, probably because this one has a lot more data into it, I will prefer it right here. Let's put it here, and I wanna, since it has more results and I need a bigger space for this result. And here, I believe this will work well right here. We're gonna have our pie chart on this side and the top 10 right here. And I can start changing all the layout right here on this one. And from here, I will start adding some interactivity into our dashboard. You can select any chart that you want, and you can go here to insert and select slicer, and it's gonna show you all the possible filters that you can do on this specific visualization. So here I would like to go to be able to filter by product, and I also want to filter by day of the week. And I'm gonna hit OK, and it's gonna paste these 2 slicers, and I'm gonna add them here on the left side because I think that's where the layout will work better. and I can also stretch them out if I need to. Actually, I believe the text is not that long, so I prefer to have it smaller, maybe a little bit bigger. And we have all our products here, and once I start clicking on any of them, you'll see that results we're gonna start filtering right here, and I can also do by product. But if you notice on this side, this is not working for all of the visualization. So what is left to do on this one is that I need to link all the visualizations together, and I can go here I can right click on any of them, and I can click on any of the slicers, right click, and I can go here to report connection, and I can select all the pivot tables that I want to. It will help you a lot creating all the pivot tables using the same data source. In this instance, we did use the Power Query output, so all this are linked together because we use the same data source for the pivot tables. So I'm gonna select all of them, maybe not the revenue by city. I don't want to filter that one, so I'm gonna click OK, and you can see all of them start filtering. Then I can go here to product, and I can do the same. You can see we added interactivity on this side. If you don't know how you can come up with a layout that will work for your dash, then there's a video that I make using that as one technique that will help you a lot, using the golden ratio as your guideline. But now all that is left to do is improve the design of this. So I'm gonna start by hiding all the field buttons of each of this visualization, and then I'm gonna start naming them differently. And this one will be revenue. No, this is quantity by product. This one will be name revenue by date. This will be our top 10 cities by revenue. And this, oh no, this is day of the week, sorry. And this will be our revenue by date. And I can keep improving the design on each one of them. You can select any of them and you can start adding some data label. You can get rid of the axis. I don't need the legends for this one because I'm not comparing multiple data sets or results, so I don't need the legend. I want to add data labels for this one, and since I have the data labels, I don't really need the primary vertical axis. Here you can see we've just modified the graphs and we have a better look to it. And if you want to change the colors of all the file, you can go here to page layout and then go to colors, and then you can select any set of colors that will match the aesthetic that you want to do for this one. Then you can keep on going, working on the design for the Excel dashboard, and it will until it matches the look and feel that you want to do for it. So for mine, I did spend a little bit more time, and I ended up using this design, and it should give you an idea of what is possible on Excel and how you can keep making dashboards on this. It is a powerful tool that you just have to know how to get around to make it dynamic. This is definitely something that will help you down the line with your data analytics journey. Just like that, you've built a fully dynamic interactive Excel dashboard right on your computer. No extra tools needed. With just a few features inside Excel, you've created something powerful and flexible, and it works offline. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. You can also leave in the comments section any question you may have about Excel. Your support helps me keep making valuable content like this, and it tells the algorithm, hey, this is worth sharing. If building this dashboard inspired you to level up even more, I got just the right thing for you. In the next video, I'll show you how to get started with Power BI, and you'll see how easy it is to transition from Excel to BI tools with confidence. See you there.